This is the Google Pixel 2 XL, and there's a few things I really like about this phone, but there's one thing that I really don't. Everyone has that one phone that they gravitate towards. That phone where they look back and they think, yeah, that was a good phone. For me, that was the Google Pixel 2 XL, and I've actually owned this phone 3 times. I had it when it first came out. It was actually the first new phone that I ever bought, and I loved that thing. I think I traded it when the Galaxy Fold came out, and I wish I just stuck with Pixels. And the second time was actually a lot more recently, only a few weeks ago. I ordered one to kick off the Google Pixel collection I'm starting. I ordered it and made a video on it. I'll link it at the end. It was literally in such bad condition that I had to return it. There was no way I could fix it myself. The back case had really bad damage, the screen had cracks on it, and there was actually a crack going right through the camera lens. So I returned it, got my money back, and then after a bit of research and for £5 extra, I got one in perfect condition. It didn't have the retail box, it actually came in this, but for one in fantastic condition, it was worth it. This one right here is my third Google Pixel 2 XL, and this is the one that I'm keeping. Let me tell you all about the Google Pixel 2 XL. This is the second iteration of the Pixel line from Google. It kicked off with the Google Pixel and the Google Pixel XL, and then about a year later we got these, the Google Pixel 2 and the Google Pixel 2 XL. When people think back to the Pixel 2 line, it's the design that gets a lot of the attention. Good and bad, and for a good reason. The Pixel 2 had those huge bezels, whereas the Pixel 2 XL had much slimmer bezels and this panda design. It's rumoured that Google had 2 teams working on these phones, one assigned to the regular Pixel and one assigned to the XL model. Literally designing to save their jobs. The Hunger Games of phone designing. I think we can all agree that there's one firm winner here. Team XL. I think the XL team did the best job, keeping it distinctly Pixel and pulling it forward with a modern look. And what happened to Team Regular Pixel? I don't actually know, but bezels like these should never have been seen in 2017. Speaking of 2017, we can call that the year of the Google Assistant. The phone was designed from the ground up to get you to use the Google Assistant more than ever before. They wanted to remove whatever barriers that there were getting in the way that stopped you from asking the Google Assistant questions. And where did that land us? With the Squeeze for Assist feature. Before this, I very rarely used the Google Assistant, but with the Squeeze to Assist feature, it just became so natural that I was using it all the time. I was using it to call people, to show me how to get places. It was great. A lot of smart assistants are still playing catch up, but this phone actually led to my first Google Home product purchase. The Google Home Mini. The Google Assistant got me hooked. I wasn't really fazed by the headphone jack being removed, but when the Squeeze for Assistant feature didn't make it into future phones, I was genuinely disappointed. This was the smartest smartphone I'd ever used. Just quickly, I mentioned the specs, but I won't dwell on them because it's more about what the specs gave us. It has a Snapdragon 835 with 4 gigs of RAM. You could pick up either 64 or 128 gigs of storage. There was plenty of phones with better specs in this, especially more RAM, but they couldn't give us what Google gave us. The Google Pixel 2 line was buttery smooth. The battery was 3520 mAh, and I never had any battery issues because Google took stock Android and just added a bit more Google to it. It didn't need super specs to run like a true flagship. You could even use one of these phones today if you wanted to. It upgrades up to Android 11 and you'd have a great experience, all for less than £100. What else do you get for £100? Front-facing stereo speakers? These are fantastic, and with that headphone jack you might be using them more than you're used to. You can get USB-C headphones that plug into the charging port, but then you can't use the headphones and charge your phone at the same time. There is no wireless charging on the back. When this phone came out, wireless charging became more prevalent and people were a bit disappointed not to see it on here. Maybe they were just holding out because they didn't have the Pixel stand ready yet. Who knows? Down in the comments, I just want to know, what's your preferred way to unlock your phone? Fingerprint scanner on the back, under display fingerprint scanner, power button scanner, or Face ID? I've used these fingerprint scanners on the back for so long now, it just feels natural to me. Let's move on to the biggest reason people bought this phone. This is a single 12 megapixel camera on the back. The Pixel welcomed a true portrait mode with this camera. Most phones at the time were using 2 lenses to get a portrait mode shot, but with the Google Magic, you were able to get really good portrait mode photos with just a single lens. And just to flex on the competition, you could also do it with the front-facing 8 megapixel camera. It wasn't as good, but you could do it. When the phone was first announced, initially the single camera on the back received a bit of backlash, but after it got into reviewers' hands, it quickly became the camera king. So what didn't I like about this phone? Let's talk about the screen. Talking specs, this screen is a 1440p 60Hz POLED panel, and it looks fantastic when you're looking straight at it. But if you're like me and you have YouTube on in the background while you're working or doing the dishes, you might have noticed the screen shifts to like a blue colour when you glance over at it. When you're looking straight on it's fine, but if you're looking at the screen at more of an angle, like if it's on the desk to the side of you, the screen turns bluish. The issues didn't stop there. The second issue was that these colours were a little bit muted. That might not sound like a big deal, but this screen is really capable of showing really vivid colours. Luckily that was something that could be fixed with a software update, and they did pretty early on as well. It gave you the option to choose from a couple of different colour profiles. I am super happy with this phone, and I'm happy to put it in my Pixel collection next to my Pixel XL. If you want to see the first Pixel to join my collection, you'll need to watch this video on screen now. Thanks for watching the video.